Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can address careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which the broadcast is brought to you daily by Earth's finest water, Fiji Water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at New Life Ministries International.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the link provided on YouTube and Facebook, we thank all of you for your continued giving and your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And just so you know, for all of you, we are going to be distributing our annual tax contribution report. So today is actually your last day for giving. We will be dispersing those contribution reports the end of January 2023. So we thank you all for your continued support. And I just want to remind everyone, first of all, we're Facebook Live, we're YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction. Having said that, we are going to be having our annual candlelight service at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, where I serve as senior pastor. For those of you who do not know, we will be having service from 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. on Saturday, Christmas Eve, because, as everyone knows, I don't like anyone out on the streets when amateur night begins in the city. So we are in at 6:30 p.m. and we are out at 8 p.m. Now, if you're in our area, come and worship with us. Come, and we invite everyone to come and experience a better quality of life. Service begins at 6:30 p.m., ends at 8 p.m. Now, for those of you who are not in our area, we will be going live with the sermon, the New Year's Eve sermon at 7:05. So tune in if you're not in our area, but if you're in our area, we encourage you not to miss this. You will also have the opportunity to talk about what you're thankful for during this year and what you're looking forward to in the year ahead. We do this every year. It's always a blessed time. We are always together and excited to be together on New Year's Eve. And then, of course, we will return. So that's on Saturday. Then we will return on Sunday morning at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware. At our normal time, service will begin at 10 a.m. If you're in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us. There's parking on Hillcrest. We're the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. And if you're not in our area, again, we'll be back live on Sunday at 10:45 a.m. for the Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center - Pastor Pope, if you're not in our area, at 10:45 a.m. So, as you can see, we're wrapping up the year. There's a lot going on. We're starting a new year. There's a lot going to happen in the coming years. So, you don't want to miss this. Be with us. at New Life Christian Center. Again, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Now, for all of you who tune in regularly, we thank you for your continued connection throughout the week on our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, which you can find at WKAPfaith.com. Tune in where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to become the best version of ourselves that we could possibly become. And so I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we're excited about the year ahead. This has been a great year. So I will tell you, it blessed me. I was having a conversation with my wife, and it blessed me because she was saying how great this year has been. And it's been an amazing year. The year ahead is even going to be greater. And one of the things that I always am mindful of is that every year is better than the year before. We have to go into the new year every year with a higher expectation, because God is taking us from faith to faith, which means we go from level to level. So I want everyone to really renew your mind, take on a new mindset with this. This is what the Lord has spoken to me, and I just want to share with all of the people of God. I want to share with everyone who has faith in God to do exceeding abundantly above all you can ask or think, according to his power that works in you and through you. So go into the new year with a greater expectation. Don't just go into the new year, entering into the new year saying, I made it through this year, because that's not what God has appointed for your life. He brought you through this year. You should celebrate what God has done in the year that is ending, but you've got to know that what God is going to do in the year ahead is so much greater than what we've already seen. Because think about this. It does not require faith for us to be thankful for the year that is ending. We've seen this year. Remember, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. We've already seen the blessings of God in the year that is ending. What we're looking forward to with faith, with excellent faith, with empowered faith, is the great things that God is going to do in the year ahead. So have an expectation as we go into the new year. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you were dating someone who has a big career. And when you began to pressure him about making a bigger commitment to you, he put all of his attention into his career, and the relationship has come to an end. So let me first of all say this. The problem that you have is that you have to look at that as a learning experience. And what I mean by that is you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to do that again moving forward. See, and once again, I get back to what society has taught us to do. So you wanted a bigger commitment, but you don't really even know what that bigger commitment looked like. You were just going by what society told you. So think about this. And the people around you. Small-minded people around you. I'm not offending anyone, I'm just keeping it real. You knew going in that you were getting involved with someone who had a big career. You knew that their career was a great responsibility. You knew that they've had success. They're continuing to have success. And your pressure became a distraction. Your pressure began to, you didn't know this, but your pressure began to cause him some health issues. Because he already has made a commitment to you, or he had already made a commitment to you, and to his career. You wanted a bigger commitment. And the reason you wanted a bigger commitment was so that you could show that to your friends. so that you can show it to the small-minded people around you that this person who has this large career was willing to make a commitment to you. It shouldn't have mattered. The fact that you were in a relationship with him was a big commitment. That should have been good enough for now, until he could get to the place where he could balance his career and his relationship with you. But, however, let me rephrase that. Once you started putting that pressure on him, he started focusing on his career. But what you didn't realize is, even while you were putting pressure on him, let me take you down this lane. The problem is we've been miseducated by society, and then the people around us keep sharing and speaking the same things that society has already taught you. So that became your confirmation. Your confirmation wasn't that he had already made a commitment to be in a relationship with you. That should have been your confirmation, but you looked for confirmation from society and you looked for confirmation from the people around you. The people around you, again, not offending anyone, but small-minded people, can't have big thoughts. The people around you don't understand the type of commitment it takes to have that type of career. They don't understand that. They couldn't understand it. It's not part of their life. And because they become complacent where they are, to them anything exceeding outside of that and beyond that was too much for them to think about. So they revert back to what they know, and then they convince you that what they know is right. So let me break this down for you a little further. He then puts all of his attention into the career because it started causing him some health issues. And when it starts causing health issues, you know, they have a term for that in today's language. It becomes toxic. You know, toxic means that it may not even have outward, noticeable impact, but it started having an impact on his health. You know, the problem then becomes, you were doing this. You wanted him to make a commitment, a bigger commitment, and then when he didn't make a bigger commitment, and this is for all of our listeners and viewers who are in relationships also, because he didn't make the bigger commitment you thought he should make, and your friends thought he should make, and some of your family members thought he should make, and society thinks he should make. Because he didn't make a bigger commitment in that form, you then began to play little games. You said it in your communication. You began trying to manipulate. So when he was available to see you, you wouldn't see him. When he wanted to do something with you, you would have something else to do. You thought by doing that, there comes that cliche, absence makes the heart grow fonder. No, that's not reality. If you weren't going to be available when he needed you to be available, eventually the relationship would come to an end. Because he couldn't be available to you when you wanted him to be available to you, because he's got a big career. He then, when he was available, wanted to spend all of the available time he had with you, but then you would make yourself unavailable. There was no way that relationship could last under those conditions. So what you have to now do is use this as a learning experience to say, the next time you're in a relationship, and so this is for all of our listeners and viewers who are in relationships, stop playing games. Let me just give you the short version. Stop playing games. If you are in a relationship and you know someone has a big responsibility, has a big career, you've got to say to yourself, I'm going to make sure I'm available when they're available. Male or female, whoever you are. I'm going to do what's necessary. Now, you have a big if you have a big career also, then your availability, both of your availability is not going to sync all the time. They're not going to be synchronized. But when you have time, spend the time together. Don't play the game of, well, he wasn't available when I wanted him to be available, so I'm not going to be available. Or she wasn't available when I wanted her to be available, so I'm going to go hang out with the boys. You can't have a successful relationship playing those games. And that's takes us back to what I always say about that's what society taught us to do. You can't expect a relationship to be successful if you don't make yourself available when each of you are available. So this has to be a learning experience for you. And you have to say to yourself, the next time, I'm not going to do it that way, because that way doesn't work. The goal is to try to spend as much time together as is available. And stop letting your friends, and this is for everyone, and particularly for our listener and viewer, stop letting your friends who don't have successful relationships try to guide you in a relationship. How can they do that if they're not having success in relationships? They're giving you bad advice. They're giving you the same advice they use in a relationship. I'll never forget, and now I'll just use a real simple form of this. So my son was having a conversation with me one day, and I said to him, okay, because I know as a parent, sometimes your children get tired of hearing you say certain things. So I said to him, you know what, call your godfather, who I know is a man of God, who I know loves the Lord, who I know is, pardon me, going to give him some good advice. And I said to him, stop talking to your friends. Stop talking to your peers, because they don't know any more than you know. Your peers, the people, remember, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most of your time with. So if they're no different than you, how are you going to get better advice from them? How are you going to get good sound advice from them? And I said to him, call your godfather, or I named a couple of other people that, my wife and I have always made it a point of surrounding our children with people who we know, first of all, love God, love the Lord. People we know are going to give them good sound, sage advice, going to give them good sound advice. You can't talk to the people in your life who are comfortable being right where they are. And here's your litmus test for that. Here's how you know where they are. If their life looks exactly the same this year as it did last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, those are not the people you need to get advice from. If they've not shown any indication that their lifestyle and quality of life has become any better than it was last year, or the year before that, or the year before that, that's not who you should take advice from. You should really, because those are your peers. And I know it's hard to hear that sometimes, because we're comfortable being around people that we've always been around, particularly if they're family and friends. And when I say friends, long-term friends. And family members are always going to be family members. But the reality is, if you're going to make progress, you have to surround yourself with people who are progressing. Real simple. Because otherwise, they're stagnant, you become stagnant also. They're complacent, you become complacent also. If they're procrastinating about life, you're going to find yourself procrastinating about life also. We want to move forward, not only be successful, but maximize our success and experience the fullness of God. So use this experience as a learning experience and do things differently in your next relationship. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are age 45, very successful, attractive, divorced, and a single parent who is challenged with meeting men in your professional environment due to the fact that most are married. And you said then the men that you do meet, they find it difficult to be in a relationship with someone who's a single parent. Okay, so let me walk you through this. You've got to make yourself available. See, you've got all these things going on. You say you're very successful, and you did describe your career. You are having success in your career. You say you're attractive. That's a given. I'll give you that one. You're divorced and a single parent. So, generally speaking, you have to make yourself available, first of all. And by that I mean, you got to put yourself in a position where your attitude is not focused on, I'm divorced and a single parent. Because, listen, there are men who will not have a problem with marrying someone or being in a relationship with someone who is divorced and a single parent, hoping that it will lead to marriage. Because what happens, and this is another thing that society wants you to believe, that just because you're a single parent, that doesn't allow you to have a relationship. Here's the reality. If a man marries someone who's a single parent, the only thing that he expects from that is to help raise your children to become an asset, not a liability. And what I mean by that is raise them, educate them, get them out of the household on their journey in life so that they can become an asset to the family. Meaning they can understand the importance of building a legacy and carrying on the legacy. Because at the end of the day, if you marry someone, this is one of the reasons I don't like using the term step parent, because often what happens is that people will marry someone who has children and they want to make them a step parent. And that implies that they've got to take a step back. No, they're raising the children together. So, you've got to teach the children that it's a great thing to have more than just two parents. You have more than two parents to love you. You've got a bonus. I smile because my wife and I have a bonus daughter. We have a bonus daughter who, she understands that she has two additional parents in her life who love her, who are going to be there for her in any way we possibly can be there. So I say all of that to say, you're making yourself unavailable because you're thinking, even though you're successful and attractive, so your career requires you to really focus. You have a career that is successful because it requires you not only to be educated, but it requires you to focus. So you take your career and you say, okay, that's one barrier to me being able to date on a regular basis. Well, you're not really looking for someone to date. Let me rephrase that, because you don't need to be looking, someone will find you. You need to make yourself available to someone who's not interested in dating, but who's on a mission of marriage. Now, the second thing is you look at it from the single parent perspective and you say, well, I've got children, and that's a challenge. So each time you look at your career, you look at the divorce, you look at parenthood, each time you're shutting yourself off, you're closing yourself off. You've got to open yourself up. You've got to say, okay, my career is a factor, but if I'm going to date someone who's on a mission for marriage, my career is not going to be a problem. I'm divorced, which means I'm free and available. I'm a single parent, but if someone's willing to help me in the process of building my family and helping to raise my children, we can build something great. Then you're opening yourself up and not closing yourself off. But when often, and particularly women, but men raise children also, but so often because we want to be in control of our children, because they belong to us, we then close ourselves off to allowing someone else to love them the right way. The right way means build them up, help to make them great, be the best version of themselves that they can possibly become, and go on their journey of life to achieve greatness. You've got to really open yourself up to the possibilities of what God will do. Because contrary to popular belief, the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. There's someone out there searching for you. Someone who, if you're open and prepared, God will send into your life to enhance the quality of your life. They're searching for you. Because he's not searching for a good time girl. He's not searching for someone who wants to hang out. He's searching for someone who wants to build family and a great quality of life. Because the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. He's out there. But you've got to be open. You've got to have your heart open. You've got to make yourself available. And you've got to know that what God has appointed for your life and planned for your life is good and not of evil. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you are in the market for a new automobile, one of the finest automobiles, high-performance automobiles manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You'll have the opportunity to virtually build out the type of Porsche that you desire to own. And if you're in our area, go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that someone assists you in selecting the vehicle, the Porsche, that you desire to own. And if you already own a Porsche, one of the finest high-performance automobiles manufactured, go to and you're in our area, go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, Service Manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that an appointment is scheduled for you and that your vehicle is picked up at your home or office, and they will provide you with the loaner vehicle and return your vehicle to you when service has been completed. And of course, this segment is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They have everything a man could possibly need, and the White Company. Located in London, the UK, they also have a store on Fifth Avenue. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And for the Daily Divine Direction, I'm Pastor Pope. We wish you a happy new year I'm going to remind everyone we are having our candlelight service at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809 at 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. You will also have the opportunity to share what you are thankful for in this year and what you're looking forward to in the year to come. Come and be with us as we celebrate the year that is coming to an end and the year that is before us at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Service begins at 6:30 p.m. for our candlelight service. If you're not in our area, tune in for the message, for the New Year's Eve message at New Life Christian Center, Pastor Pope, if you're not in our area, at 7:05 p.m. And today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, as always, is brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right